Hello my dear friends and welcome back to the Nurses Hub. So today we are going to study regarding the anatomy of the stomach. So let us start the topic without any further delay. So whatever we want to study in the anatomy of stomach, everything I have listed down on the blackboard. So we will just study it in a systematic way. So coming to the introduction. In introduction we can just say that the stomach is a hollow muscular J-shaped organ. So as you can see from here it is starting and this is completely hollow. It's a complete cavity so that the food can get digested in that area. So that's why it is a hollow muscular organ. Hollow muscular organ. Okay, and you can see the structure is like J alphabet. As you can see here, it's like a J-shaped organ. So we can write it as it is a J-shaped organ. Next one we can say that the stomach, it extends from the cardiac notch up till the pyloric canal. So this is the cardiac notch and this is the pyloric canal end. So in detail we will study further in the parts of stomach. So we can say that it extends from cardiac notch up till the end of the pyloric canal. End of pyloric canal. Okay. And next thing we can add in the introduction is this upper end, it continues as esophagus and the lower end it continues as the duodenum. Okay. The upper end it continues as esophagus and this lower end it continues as the duodenum. Okay, so this is all about the introduction. Next we will study regarding the position of the stomach. So when we want to study the position, we have to draw the 9 quadrants of the abdomen. So these are your 9 quadrants. Okay. So stomach occupies the epigastrium, the left hypochondria and the umbilical region. Now this is your esophagus, this is your stomach. Okay, and it is going to be like this. So it is going to occupy this epigastric region, this left hypochondriac and this center region, the umbilical region. Okay, so this is the position of the stomach. Okay, to the capacity of the stomach. So capacity, as we have like capacity, we can divide it into 2 age groups, the infants and the adults. So the infant stomach, it holds around 30 to 50 ml of fluid. Okay, and in case of adults, it holds around 2 to 3 liters of fluid. Okay, 2 to 3 liters in case of adult. So in case of empty stomach, it can even expand. So this is all about the capacity. Regarding the parts of the stomach. So basically the stomach has got 4 parts. Okay, we have got the cardiac part. Next we have got the fundus. Next we have got the body. And the last one we have got the pylorus. Okay, so we will just put these parts in the diagram. Now this particular portion where the esophagus ends and the stomach begins, that is called as the cardiac notch. Okay, and soon after the cardiac notch, this particular area, it is called as the cardia. Okay, now here we are going to have the sphincter muscles, which prevents the backflow of the food from the stomach again into the esophagus, so that the nausea or the vomiting will not be occurring. And then this particular portion, which is superior to the cardiac notch, it is called as the fundus. Okay, fundus. Next, after the fundus till this region, we have the body of stomach. Okay, this body, after it ends, we have the pyloric region. Now this pyloric region, it is divided into two parts. Immediately after the body, the pylorus starts, and it is divided into two regions. Okay. Now this first region, it is called as the pyloric antrum. Pyloric antrum. Okay. This second region, it is called as the pyloric canal. Pyloric canal. And soon after the pyloric canal, this particular portion is the first part of the small intestine, which is called as the duodenum. Okay, so duodenum is the end part of the which gives the attachment to the end part of the stomach, and esophagus is the part which gives the attachment to the starting of the stomach. Okay, so this is all about the parts of the stomach. Now I will just explain you in short. The cardiac notch, where the esophagus ends and the stomach begins. Okay, this is the cardiac notch. Superior to the cardiac notch, this particular portion is called as the fundus. So here you can even see the gas bubbles when we do the X-ray. Okay, so it is the superior most part of the stomach. Next is the largest or the biggest part of the stomach, which is called as the body. Okay, and this is located between the fundus and the pyloric region. Okay, and third one is the pylorus. This pylorus is divided into two parts: the pyloric antrum, the first one, and the second one, the pyloric canal. Okay, so this is all about the parts of stomach. So next we'll move on to the features of the stomach. So features, again we have the same formula as I have told you for the spleen also, that is BASE. Here only the A is not there, the angle. Remaining three things we can add. It has got two borders, two surfaces, and two ends. Okay, so these features we are going to add up in the diagram now. So this is your stomach. Okay, this is your fundus, this is your body, this is your pyloric antrum, this is your cardiac notch. Now it has got two borders. Okay, these two borders are even called as the two curvatures. Okay, borders are also called as the curvature. So it has got the lesser curvature on the lesser border. Okay, and the greater curvature or the greater border. Okay, so these are the two borders. So now this lesser curvature, it is attached with the lesser omentum. Okay, Now this particular portion which you can see here, this area, it has got the lesser momentum. Okay, lesser momentum. And this junction which you can see where the body finishes and the pyloric antrum starts, this junction is called as the angularis incision. Angularis incision. Okay. This lesser curvature gives attachment to the lesser momentum, and this lesser momentum further it extends and it gets attached with the liver. So we have the liver structure here, right? So it gives attachment to the liver. Now coming to the greater curvature, this greater curvature, it is 4 times bigger than the lesser curvature. Okay. So as the lesser curvature gives attachment to the lesser momentum, the greater curvature gives attachment to the greater momentum here. Okay. So this is a greater momentum. Greater momentum. And this side it gives attachment with the gastrosplenic ligament. Okay. So this is your gastrosplenic ligament. Gastrosplenic ligament. And at the superior region it gives attachment to the gastrophrenic ligament. This one, the gastrophrenic ligament. Okay. So these are the 3 ligaments with whom the greater curvature gives the attachment. The greater momentum, the gastrosplenic ligament, and the gastrophrenic ligament. Okay. So this is all about the borders or the curvatures. Don't get confused. The borders and the curvatures of stomach are same only. Next, moving on to the surfaces. So it has got 2 surfaces, the anterior surface at the front and the posterior surface at the back. So this surface at the front is anterior, back side is the posterior surface. So these are the 2 surfaces. Next, moving on to the ends. So it has got 2 ends. This is the cardiac end from where the stomach starts, and this is the pyloric end from where the stomach ends and the duodenum start. So at this pyloric end where the pyloric canal ends, it has got the pyloric sphincter. Now these sphincters, they are going to stop the backflow of the food into the stomach. So once the food goes into the duodenum, this sphincter avoids its backflow. The same way, here you have got the cardiac sphincter. It avoids the backflow of the food into the esophagus. So once the food enters, it will prevent it from going back. Okay. So this is all about the features. We have got the 2 borders or the curvature, 2 surfaces, and the 2 ends. So next, after the features, we'll move on to the blood supply. Okay. So the blood supply is very much simple. We have the 5 arteries. The right and the left gastric artery, the right and the left gastroepiploic artery, and the short arteries. Okay. So I will just explain you diagrammatically in a very simple way. This is your celiac trunk. So a branch of it, it is a splenic artery. So it supplies the spleen. So this splenic artery is going to supply the spleen. Now a branch of this celiac trunk, it is going to supply the lesser curvature, and it is called as the left gastric artery. Okay, the left gastric artery. Now one more branch from the celiac trunk, it is going to supply the liver. Okay, so it is called as the hepatic artery. So now a branch of this hepatic artery, it is going to supply the lesser momentum, and this is called as the right gastric artery. Okay, so these are the two arteries, the left gastric artery and the right gastric artery. Both are the branches of mainly the celiac trunk, but the right gastric is a branch of hepatic artery, which is a branch of celiac trunk. Okay. Next we will see regarding the right and the left gastroepiploic artery. Okay. So this is your splenic artery. Okay. So branch of the splenic artery, it is going to supply in many small branches to the greater curvature. Okay. And this is called as the left gastroepiploic artery. Left gastroepiploic artery. Okay. So this is going to supply the greater curvature. Now we will see regarding the right gastroepiploic artery. So we have the duodenal artery here. Okay. So branch of the duodenal artery, it is going to supply the greater curvature. Okay, into the small branches. So this is called as the right gastroepiploic artery. Okay. So right and the left gastric artery, right and the left gastroepiploic artery, and one more, there is a branch of the splenic artery. It is going to supply 4 to 5 small arteries to the upper portion of the stomach. Okay. So this is going to be called as the short gastric arteries. Okay. Short gastric arteries. So this is all about the blood supply of the stomach. Right and the left gastric artery, right and the left gastroepiploic artery, and the short gastric artery. That's it. Moving on to the venous drainage, or the last part of the anatomy. Okay. So venous drainage, this whatever the arteries they have supplied the stomach, the same are going to drain out, but in the form of veins. Now this is right and the left gastric artery, they are blood supply. Now right and the left gastric veins, they are going to drain out the venous fluid. Okay. Now these are the right and the left gastric gastroepiploic artery. The same will, when come out, they will become the right and the left gastroepiploic vein. So they are going to, so at the last, the venous drainage is going to be by the short gastric vein. So when it supplies the blood, it is short gastric artery, and when it drains out of the stomach, it is going to become the short gastric vein. So this is all about the venous drainage, which is going to be taken up by the 5 veins, the right and the left gastric vein, right and the left gastroepiploic vein, and right this short gastric veins. Okay. So here we have concluded the topic. So any of the kind of doubts or clarifications are there, kindly let me know in the comment box. Thank you.